Welcome to the Daytona Beach Real Estate Insider, powered by the Daytona Beach Area Association of Realtors. Whether you're a real estate agent or just interested in our local real estate market, we hope this podcast provides value to you. We explore how our local association supports its members and share key tips for navigating Volusia and Flagler County real estate. Stick with us for the next few minutes. You won't want to miss it.
All right. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kristin Petersen, the president of Daytona Beach Area Association of Realtors, and I am super excited today, really excited to be sitting with Dr. Carmen Balgobin.
There you go.
Dr. B, okay?
Dr. B, that's fine. That works, Kristin.
And I am really proud of you. 2025 National Superintendent of the Year. And that is that's got to be a great honor.
It's
that's
blessing.
nationally.
It's a blessing and an honor.
In Volusia County, you guys.
Volusia County, yeah.
So we have a lot to talk about. We kind of started already talking, then we had to stop ourselves because it's such good stuff. But I want to start kind of in the beginning. Let's go back to your starting school, and you're in Venezuela, and you're teaching foreign language. Is that what you were doing?
Well, I lived in Venezuela, obviously, but I attended high school in New York, Queens.
Okay.
And became a foreign language teacher in Florida, Evans High School in Orlando.
Okay.
But I grew up in Venezuela, so lots of, I went to 13 schools, believe it or not, before I graduated from high school. That's kind of unheard of, right?
Yeah. Well, my dad was in the Navy, so.
Oh,
yeah,
so you're one of those travelers, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it builds good character in you.
It does. It really teaches you about resilience, right? Adaptability, how important it is to adapt, and really overcome obstacles. Because if you think about it, going to 13 schools before graduating from high school, if you were to do the comparison here, that's like almost every grade, starting in pre-K, right? A change. And that creates interrupted schooling. It's called interrupted schooling. So you as a learner now, you really have to have that self-initiative to be able to show the resiliency, and that no matter what you encounter, what obstacles, difficulties, or challenges, academically or personally, that you persevere, that you find a way to be successful. So for what it's worth, attending 13 schools or different changes before graduating from high school, that has really instilled in me the value of resiliency, adaptability, and also being grateful for no matter what comes your way, you make the best out of it.
Yeah. I think as an individual, you either go that route, which is also, I think, the route that I went, or you become a complete introvert like my sister did. That's a whole nother story.
Yeah, or another story in between, right?
right. But think about how many kids go through that, in the school system and everything. So it's just an interesting way to grow up. But now I can see from that story alone how you've done such a successful thing here in our area, and it's huge. I'm in real estate, so it's huge for us, and so I want to get into that. But what is, when you're talking about the journey that now you have not concluded, you're continuing, but you're here in Volusia County. What are some of the main things that you learned through your career so far that is still driving you?
That's driving me. I will tell you that I've always had a passion for public education. Being a traveler as a learner. My father has always instilled in me the value of a good education. So my father was a priest, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was a priest. I'm the daughter of a he passed away now, but he was a priest. So, talking about the things that in life are good for you and that you should be pursuing. So education was one of his top topics, and he will talk always about the value that lies there. But one of the things that he shared with me in particular, he says, when it comes to wealth, you may have wealth one day, the next day you may not. When it comes to health, you may have health one day, the next day you may not. And acquisition and all titles and all this, you may have or you may not the next day. But he said, think of the things that you can acquire for yourself, such as a good, strong education and the skill set, which will help you in how you navigate this world and what doors will open up for you, through those quality experiences and the knowledge base that you bring. He says that's the one thing that no one can take away from you.
Right.
And that really resonated with me.
Yeah.
Think of the one thing that you can do for yourself that will open up doors for you and opportunities that may not otherwise be there for you that no one can take away from you.
And not only that, you can't buy it.
You can't buy it.
You have to go through it.
Absolutely.
You have to learn it.
Absolutely.
And you have to internalize it.
Absolutely.
And then it works for you.
And you know what? And so I will tell you, I was talking recently to the president of UCF. And he said...
Good school, by the way. That's where I graduated
And that's where I graduated from, too. Go Trojans.
I know. I was
So he was sharing with me, he said, do you know that there are studies that shows you that when you are, you have a strong knowledge base in terms of like a good education, a skill set that you can apply, right, in life, that the probability of your success, having a good, successful life is much higher, your health risk. Because when you know better, we tend to do better when you know better, right? So there's a lot of, good that comes from that, the acquisition of knowledge and application of skills.
So I want you to explain to me and our audience is not only real estate agents, but it could be business leaders, people that are running their own business in some capacity. So consider that audience when you answer this question. But you're running a show with 60,000 students, 8,200 people kind of working
employees
with you and for you, and then 83 schools and growing. How do you get your message out? How do you make sure everybody understands your vision? And how do you drive that train?
Well, you know what? That's a loaded question there, Kristin.
So go for it.
I will give you my best. So first,
and I know that you, in your short stature, you've got a lot going on, and I can feel the energy. So I understand that part. But
we have a great community. First and foremost, let me share that with you. I've worked in many of the districts prior to Volusia County, and one of the things that's so special about Volusia is that we have a community here that truly, truly cares. The community here, they are investors in Volusia County. They're generational families here in Volusia County, and they really want the best for Volusia County. I understood that when I came here as a superintendent, and I wanted to ensure that we were working in a collaborative way, that we were working together to accomplish that vision where we together put Volusia County on the roadmap of excellence. So with that said, yes, we're a large machine, 8,200 employees. Everything you said is correct. We're the 14th largest districts in the state of Florida, and there's 67 districts in the state of Florida. And we're the 14th largest. So putting that into perspective. But when you're running an organization like any business person would, you have to understand what are your objectives, what are your priorities. For us, two are always the center of the work that we do. We have to ensure that our students or staff feel safe each and every day. So we're going to do everything in our power to create environments where they feel safe and that they can succeed, right? Second is to ensure that we don't forget why we exist as an organization.
That's not easy.
But it's important. It's important to drive, right? The
Absolutely.
work. So teaching and learning, right, is the reason for existence, ensuring that our students are receiving quality educational experiences day in and day out. That's our mission. That's why we exist. So when you know clearly what your priorities are, it's important that you surround yourself with the right people. So having a good team and being able to share that vision with your team and the why you exist, and then ensuring that you have all of the training opportunities so that your team has the knowledge and the skill set to execute that vision with fidelity. It sounds simple, but it's not.
Right.
So there's a lot of things that we've had to put in place to ensure that we not only have our priorities, but we're aligning our resources accordingly so that we can fully realize those priorities. So, for example, initiating and starting yearly trainings for all of our administrators. Every single administrator in Volusia County was one of the things that we put in place. Developing a way of work. Okay, what are the standards that our students need to learn at each grade level for every subject area? How are you going to benchmark that? How are we going to determine whether students are learning or not, and what interventions need to be put in place, right? So making sure that the right curriculum is in place, that the training for those curricular standards are in place. Looking at our schools, understanding 85 schools. Okay, every school is going to have similarities and differences. But for the differences that exist, what type of support mechanisms are you putting in place to meet the differentiated needs of your students and that community? So, putting that in place. And again, we have a strategic plan that I call a living, breathing document. And what that means that those goals that we have outlined with clear numeric metrics or, a qualitative form of determining whether we're progressing in the right direction, that they're being monitored frequently and that we're making adjustments in time, in real time. So it's a strategic plan to guide our work that is filtered into every single school, their school improvement plans. It's ensuring that we have the right curriculum in place, the right support systems in place, that we have metrics established for progress monitoring, that we're making adjustments in a timely manner, and that we're communicating and providing feedback.
I think you've thought this through a little bit.
It's been my life for 27 and a half years.
I guess so. And that must be why you've taken this district from B-rated schools to an A-rated school, which is phenomenal. We're the 4th rated district, is that right?
So we are in the Central Florida Coalition. We're the second highest for graduation rate.
92-ish%?
94.
94,
yeah, 94%.
Okay.
And if you look at just our traditional high schools, it would be close to 97%.
Wow.
So that's just for graduation rate. We're the second highest. And when you look at our rating, we have gone from being percentile now. We've gone from being the 40th 2 years ago to now the 29th in the 24th in the state of Florida.
Wow.
So from the 40th place to now the 24th, we went from the bottom tier to now the top tier.
Yeah. And I hope anybody listening here is getting this, because I thought I knew education. I've been through elementary school, middle school, high school, and college. And so that was so many years ago.
Yeah.
But you don't go back and think about it unless you've got kids in school or something to that effect.
Yeah.
But boy, does it affect the community. And hearing all of this information is just renewing my my desire for education.
So much has changed.
Oh my
Kristin.
God. Well, I guess a little bit. But I think I'm like most of a lot of our community would be, in that you kind of just don't pay attention to that aspect of it unless you absolutely have to.
Correct.
So I have a couple questions for you. One thing that really renewed my interest when I was doing some research for this was the CTE.
Yes, CTE
and I would like you to explain the CTE programs, because this is making me want to go back to school. I'm thinking, okay, enough of real estate. 35 years has been good. Let's go back and do this. I mean, we're talking about educating students where their minds are right now. So for HVAC, for engineering programs, automotive, things like that. So I'll go ahead and tell about that.
So I will tell you, back when I went to school, when I was attending school, there was a clear pathway that was defined for you. And your parents and community members will tell you that, if you don't go to college, I don't know about your, success in life. That was back when I was attending school. And probably you too, right?
And those first 2 years of college were,
I know.
Why am I here?
But all the emphasis was on college.
Absolutely.
And one of the things that we know very clearly throughout the year is college and career ready. If you look at our community, there are so many jobs, some of them are career jobs, that are equally important. And to be honest with you, we have students that they have all the skill set and they will do great in college. They will do great in college, but that is not their pursuit.
Desire.
That is not their desire. Their desire is something more in the area of career ready, right? So we have to ensure, that we are serving, I like to say, the steak and the lobster, that both are there for our students. So one of the things that we have done, we have really put a deliberate, focus on our career readiness. And I remember when I started at Volusia County as the superintendent, we had about 37 programs, I believe, total between programs in our schools. And now we have over 200.
Wow.
We have over 200 now. So we just did a ribbon cutting for a welding program. We have HVAC. We have mechanical engineering. We have a full shop at one of our schools for body and mechanics.
What was it,
Aerospace design and engineering.
Aerospace design,
with
company coming from France?
Yes, yes, and we have a partnership with Embry-Riddle.
Okay.
So we have over 200 now, and we are leading in that field for the state of Florida when it comes to our CTE programs.
Yeah, so listen to that, people. I mean, that is amazing.
Every single school has at least but I'm saying more than one in our school. So what we do, we survey our students in the middle school. We survey them at the high school level to capture their aptitude and interests, and then we will take that to ensure that the programs we can make those match, have those conversations with the families, have the conversation with the students.
So you're not just guessing that, maybe HVAC will turn them on or plumbing will turn them on.
We're not in the market to do the guessing game. You have to ensure that we're aligning their skills and their innate passion to fields in which they will excel. And we're seeing, and then we're connecting that very early on to the industry. So we're bringing in our business partners. We've grown our business partners too tremendously. So they're coming in, they're serving as advisory boards for these programs. And
that's awesome.
They're guest speakers. They're providing pre-apprenticeships, internship opportunities for our students.
We'd really like to get involved in that, by the way.
I want you guys involved. Absolutely. Let's make it happen today.
Yeah. Okay.
So we are working very early on with our business community to make sure that they know of these programs that will meet their needs, that they're connecting very early on with our students. They're forming and building those relationships so that the probability of our students graduating and leaving Volusia County is much lower that way.
Right.
So it's about aligning, all of the right forces together.
Boy, that's really smart. Yeah. Something clicked in when you went to school, huh? You're so kind.
You're so kind. You're so kind.
I'm just full of compliments.
You're so kind. Can I share a story with you, though?
Please.
I think this is the perfect audience for it. So you were talking to me about, what inspired you. And so I'm going to share with you something that really resonated with me, and I took it to heart. And probably this person doesn't even know that. But obviously, I came back to Volusia County from Broward County because I believe in Volusia. Love this county, and what it has to offer and its people, right? So when I came back, I did an interview. I did a radio interview. But I'm not going to tell you where and who I interviewed with.
Okay.
So I did a radio interview, and this person was welcoming me back to Volusia County and was talking about, the future ahead and what to expect and all that. And after we finished the interview, I sat with her and we were having a conversation. And I said, so tell me about you. You have children? And she said to me, yes, I have kids. And I said, tell me, how old are they and what schools are they in? Assuming they were in one of our schools. And she says to me, Dr. Balgobin, it's just, I know that I know you have great schools and you're going to do great things here, but for my husband, it was really important that our children were part of a district. So she was telling me what district her kids were going to. And I said, but we have great schools here, right? It's not just about the letter grade. Because for me, it was not just the pursuit of a letter grade. It was the pursuit of excellence for our kids. And it led to the letter grade, right?
Right.
But I left there, and I said, as much as sometimes we may not want to look at it from that way, because I can go on both ends and say, well, it's not just about a letter grade. It's about really the great things that are happening in our school. But one always would lead to the other. But it was really imperative for me that we were providing services that would meet the needs of all our customers. So meaning for those customers that would see the importance of that they had that opportunity here.
Yeah. That's a great story, by the way. You touched earlier, and this kind of goes into that thought process, because I would imagine right now it's a little bit challenging in a school district that you have parents, and I'm thinking of a story that I just ran into. My daughter has 2 young kids, and this is in Duval County.
Okay.
And the youngest was in kindergarten.
Okay.
But was being bullied in kindergarten. And so my immediate reaction as grandma who's going to take care of everything, was we're going to put them in private school or we're going to homeschool this because we're not going to deal with that. Yeah. We didn't do that, by the way. But, my initial reaction was that you mentioned safety and security and all of this kind of stuff. So I would have, I'm sure people come to us and say, I want to be in an A-rated district or, that's their initial top thoughts are safety, A-rated, whatever. Correct. So give me some verbiage of what we're doing here in Volusia County. Obviously, we have, I'm in on the school system. Yeah. But the safety and security, and how are we working with local authorities and everything else to make sure that everybody is safe?
So, again, safety and security is key for us here, and I say for all of us. And that's because I will tell you, it had always been a top priority for me. But when I, served in Broward County for a little bit there, and I experienced, some of the aftermath that the community was facing from the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas. You recall that tragedy. And I really felt that. I saw that, and I saw what it does to a community. And for me, it really... something changed in me, right? Because I experienced it, and it was a few years after that situation with the shooting that took place there, and I said, "Boy, if being a superintendent, I'm going to do everything within my powers to ensure that our staff feels safe and that our students feel safe and our parents." Now, mind you, are there rooms for improvement? Every single day, there are rooms for improvement. You yourself stated 60,000 plus students, right? Right. So there are a lot of things that are out of our control, but for the things that we do have control of, I try to make sure that we're executing with fidelity and those systems are in place. So you would look at, like, for example, we have a badge that you press that badge, and it's called a strategic badge. And if in case of a crisis, it will coordinate all of the key services, fire, the police department. Everybody will be coordinated in the exact spot where there is an emergency. We invested a lot of money into that, but it's in our school system, and every employee has
the badge.
The badge. If you look at the camera system coupled with the AI, metal detection, it's going to be in every single one of our high schools. When you, as you know, when you have open games, like for example in the evenings and so forth, we have those for the games in the afternoons as well, right? Wow. The metal detectors, because that's an open forum. You don't know what could happen there. So that's a mechanism, that's a layer of making sure that safety, some safety components are in place. We also partner with our sheriff's office. And that we have a really good relationship with our sheriff's office. And we actually are paying for a director for safety and security that is current with the sheriff's office. So when it comes to having access to records and so forth, it's fluid. It's right there. There's no delay time in having to go and access between our school district and their office because it's there. This is an employee of theirs that we pay for. You look at the 60 municipalities. We're so spread out. As a matter of fact, the joke is that you can take Volusia County and split it into, and it becomes 2 county because of how spread out. Yeah. So although we have 60 municipalities, we have an agreement with those municipalities. We have in every single one of our schools an SRO, SRD, or a guardian, and in some cases, depending on the size of the campus, more than one. And so all these things are in place. We have a safety and security plan that is a living, breathing document for our district, but also every school in our county. If an incident occurs, we are, at the end of that incident, we're debriefing. We're looking at opportunities that may have been there that we did not capitalize on. What are some adjustments that we'll be making? So when it comes to safety and security, it will always be our number one priority. You go to any principal and say, what is your superintendent's 2 priorities? And I bet you, without a doubt, I will bet you, probably $5. That's all I have. That they will tell you safety and security of students and staff, and students' academic success. Mm-hmm. They will tell you that without any default mode, because that is part of our day-to-day and why we exist as an organization. Mm-hmm. And there's a whole lot more too, Kristin,
sure.
that's taking place when it comes to safety and security. Yeah. As a matter of fact, Volusia County is called upon quite a bit to share with other districts, not just here in the state of Florida, but nationwide now. Yes. On our safety practices that we have here.
What a compliment to you.
Well, to all of us.
To all of
us. But
take somebody with a great communication skills and a vision to put it all into place. So
thank you.
Speaking of vision, where are we going?
Where are we going? That's a good question. So for the next 3 years, reading, we know how important reading is, right? And to be able to read critically. Not just to read to just comprehend,
to get through it.
But mm-hmm. I'm a firm believer. When you read, the author doesn't know it all, mm-hmm. right? Question what you're reading. Mm-hmm. Make connections to what you're reading, right? Mm-hmm. Have those aha moments. Let it become very, tangible, what you're reading in terms of what you're going to challenge, what you're going to accept, and what you're going to research. So those critical reading skills, we have a pre-K through 12 reading plan for the next 3 years, where we've brought in a few business folks from the business community mm-hmm. that are working with us. We have folks from the district level that are working with us, and we're working with our teachers and students. And we're bringing research-based practices. We're training everyone up on what those practices, because there's a differentiation when it comes to reading. There's a group that are learning how to read, and those will take place primarily mm-hmm. in your primary grades, and reading to learn, right? And to question and critique and analyze and connect. Mm-hmm. Those are those higher order thinking skills. So we really want to have a strong plan that we're going to be enacting on for the next 3 years. So that's one of our priority areas. Second is innovation. Mm. So if you look at where we are in education, we're not just preparing students to be successful in the state of Florida or to be successful nationwide, but to be successful globally.
Well,
globally.
That's where it is,
right?
That's where we are going.
Exactly.
Right?
So when we look at innovation, we have, I'm a firm believer that we want to integrate innovation in a responsible way. Mm-hmm. And what that means, like, for example, with AI.
Yeah, I was going there, yeah.
We have AI in our mm-hmm. school system, but how are we utilizing it? It's to augment instruction, it's to enhance learning, but not to, take skills away. Mm-hmm. So we have to be very careful with that, too, because if you don't integrate technology in a responsible way, mm-hmm. what's going to happen, it's going to replace skills. Mm-hmm. And then you find that we're growing a generation that's going to be having some missed.
You're preaching to the choir here. I'll simplify it way down, going to Publix, handing a 20 and 2 cents and trying to get change back. Can anybody really count it back? And here's 5, 10, and 15 is 20, or
number
whatever.
sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Number sense, right?
Yes.
So you're absolutely right. So AI, we have a policy, how we are training up, how we're using, because the one thing I don't want is for AI or any other, technological advanced, program or mm-hmm. whatever tool that's out there to take away skills from we don't want to say that.
Skills also develop the person, right, and the personality and your strength within yourself. So
exactly.
if you can use the phone because it's easier.
Correct.
But if I need to, I can times it out and figure it out myself.
There you go. So we have to be careful with that, and not just globally, we have to be careful with that, right? So integrating so for example, we're using prisms in our school so that students are enrolled in algebra and geometry can see the connection, right? To real life application and how that applies. So, mm-hmm. so we have the prism, we have AI coupled with Reading Coach, which is a program for our students where it provides immediate feedback to students as they're reading, and it's differentiated. We have quite a bit of technology in our schools, but I want to make sure that it's to augment and enhance.
And not to replace.
Mm-hmm. And there's a third
Okay.
It's going to make you happy.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, CTE.
I'm going to quit my job tomorrow and go back to school.
CTE.
CTE. And I want you to touch base. I'm hungry. Touch base on the dual language program, too.
Oh, yes.
I know. There's a lot.
There's a lot. So we have, for the first time, we have 6 dual language programs in our school and 3 French academies.
Amazing.
3 French academies. Yeah. Because if you look at the research and really what it says, if a student is going to learn a second language and they want to learn it without an accent, to be able to be really proficient, right? And I'm talking by bilingual, biliterate, bicultural. When you're learning a second language, you're also learning the culture because language is enculturated. And when you're learning a second language, I want you to be able to say that you, on your resume, that you know what, you can function academically and with that second language or from a professional standpoint, right? So it's about these students that are from in the primary grades, and as they matriculate and they go higher and higher, where they're able to learn and developmentally learn those language skills through all those 4 modalities, listening, speaking, reading, and writing, and where they can apply it into their subject matter, but ultimately, right, in the jobs in which they will be, serving in the future also.
And it's a natural capability,
it's
too.
It's a natural, exactly.
I just traveled overseas, and one of the things that I noticed was they all speak multiple languages.
It's the norm.
And we're so far behind on that.
It is the norm.
Yes, exactly.
It is the norm.
And you really feel like a dummy over there when you're just...
So we try, I've traveled a lot. I told you 13 schools. And it's the norm, and you would go, and it's like speaking one language is just not enough. And you'll see, like, right within a small space, different languages.
Yes.
And I think there's such beauty in that, right? So why should we hold our students back here?
Right. And again, it's self-esteem. If you've got esteem and you've got these skills and you're not relying on your phone to translate or the AI to give you an answer or whatever, it's so empowering. It's
knowledge
so empowering.
breeds confidence.
Yeah. Back
knowledge
to your original statement
confidence.
That your dad said to you.
Yes.
And this is what I'm so excited about. I really am. I mean, I'm serious. I'm
excited too.
So
how about I do this? You get a tour going.
Okay.
Call us. Get a group of business, in the real estate, because I've extended this to another group. Let me know. We're going to do a bus tour.
Yes.
We're going to go so you can visit some of the academies and programs.
Oh,
see what our students
awesome.
are doing. You'll see our students flying airplanes. You'll see them taking off and landing their planes.
This is so exciting. And it really puts a fire under me in regards to real estate because, like I said, people coming into our area, at one point it was 1,000 people a day, right, COVID time and so forth. And these are concerns. I mean, they should be concerned, whether you've got children or not. You should be concerned about the education system because it affects everything in the community.
It affects the economic vitality and health of the entire community. So if you have a strong educational system, it's going to filter into every aspect of that community.
And it lifts the whole community up.
It is the shining light to everything else that you do.
100%.
So
I
it's the hub. It's the incubation.
Maybe I'll go back and be a teacher. I don't know. I'm rethinking the whole thing.
You didn't even know, but I was recruited here.
Yes, there you go. I'm done. I'm recruited. Let me. I don't want to end, but we have to end at some point. So I want to ask you one question, and that you might take some thought on this. But what is one? And because there might be somebody listening that really knows you, and a whole district that knows you. But what is something that nobody knows about you? Like a little secret? Like can you tie a cherry stem in your tongue, or one of those little things that you can do that nobody knows? Like that's really cool.
So, well, I'll tell you, the one that I shared with you earlier, not a whole lot of people know that I went to 13 schools before graduating from high school. So
and that's a lot.
You're probably the second here to know about that. But someone that doesn't know me, really, believe it or not, growing up, I was an introvert. I was an introvert growing up.
But you were taking it in.
I can tell to the point that we would have family members come over to the house and they wouldn't see me because I didn't even. That's how of an introvert I was. But when I became a teacher, obviously you had to get on stage, and then I am glad because had I not been in some of the roles in which I've been that put me out of my comfort zone, I probably would not even be here speaking with you today, so candidly.
Isn't it interesting how I say how God works, that you can look back on your life and you can stitch it all together, like how it ended up being here.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's such a great thing.
It's, I'm a firm believer. I believe in a higher power. I really do. That's my life has been a testament to that. And I've always trusted in knowing that as long as you do the right thing, some of the things that you might be experiencing may not make sense to you right then and there. But when you have that trust and that belief, eventually it does. And for me, it has been a constant topic in my life. It has been a constant topic of every chapter I have lived so far.
Well, you are in the right place and at the right times.
You think?
I can tell. I have a good sense of that.
Thank you.
And you're exactly where you should be.
Thank you.
And I hope the future is as bright as your past has been, because you're a real gift to our community.
Thank you, Kristin.
I mean, I don't know you. I'm just meeting you now, but I just feel it.
I appreciate that.
I am so excited.
Well,
for you and really, and you have renewed my faith in the education system when I started realizing all the things that are going on. And you have people, and we're all working together, but it takes someone like you to come in and say, okay, here's how we're going to go down the Seine River, and we're going to make this happen. So congratulations on all of that.
I'm going to share with you something deep then.
Okay, please.
Something that people don't know about me. I've had a property here in Volusia County for over 15 years.
You want to sell it? No, just kidding.
No. I
thought that's where you were going.
For over 15 years. So although previously at one point I worked in Orange County, I would come down to Volusia County every weekend. Every single weekend I would come down to Volusia County. And my property, you could see from my home, Seabreeze High. So my husband and I would look at Seabreeze High and would say, and my husband would joke with me. He goes, "What if I worked, and you worked here in Volusia County? And can you imagine how easy it would be?" And we talked about this, right? And I was recruited twice to come to Volusia County with some previous superintendents that you've had here, but never made that leap, I guess. But look at how everything happened. Going back to what you said, you're supposed to be here now. You're supposed to be doing this now. And it goes back to what we talked about in life. There is a time and place, and when you trust, you'll be where you need to be. And for me, honestly, this is not a job. I could do a job anywhere I wished to, by God's grace. This is a mission for me, and I believe in our kids. I believe in our community, and that's what drives me. Passion is what drives me, and I have to believe in what I do. And then everything else is
and that's why it's working.
The cherry, right?
Yeah, that's why it's working. It's not forced for you.
No,
it's coming from your soul. So, and that's where things come together when it's like that. So,
yeah, you're absolutely right.
So it's been wonderful meeting you. I'm sure I'm going to see you again.
We have to see
each
other
on a bus tour.
On a bus tour very soon. Very soon, we're going to make this happen.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
We appreciate it.
Thank you
and
so
we're
much.
so lucky to have you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Remember this lady right here. She's making things happen. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the Daytona Beach Real Estate Insider. We hope you found today's episode helpful. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an update. And don't forget to follow us on social media for the latest news and tips. Until next time, happy house hunting.